From being drafted 3rd overall back in 2016 to signing with the Blue Jackets, only to request a trade 2 weeks after signing. After 2 years of being part of the Jets organization, he again requests for a trade where he finally landed money and a warm spot to just chill and not play hockey. He surprisingly plays the worst season of his career while being paid the highest he ever has in his career, only to then get traded 1-for-1 for Darcy Kuemper. Holy crap! Holy crap! This is insane, and I freaking love it. Let's get right into this video. If you're new to the channel, I'm trying to reach 5K subs. If you can help me with that, that'd be dope. But Pierre-Luc Dubois just got traded to the Washington Capitals 1-for-1. Darcy Kuemper, Pierre-Luc Dubois. Holy frick. What are your initial thoughts on this? If you're a Kings fan new to the channel, what are your thoughts on this? If you're a Caps fan, what is your thoughts on this? I have my thoughts. Personally, you get what you goddamn deserved. What's that? That's off of the Joker. That's off of the Joker when Joaquin Phoenix is on that show near the end. He's like, what do you get when you do this? You get what you deserve, Murray. Roll it. Roll the clip. It's funny.
Get what you deserve.
Yeah, so personally, I am not a PLD. They call him that. Personally, I think he is up there for my least favorite player. He's got to be up there. If you guys would like that list of a list of my most hated players in the NHL, drop a comment down below. And if that's the case, do you know who's up there? It's this guy we're talking about right now. I've never been a fan of this guy. Well, I shouldn't say that. I didn't know him until his first year in Columbus. Obviously, the whole scandal of him going over Jesse Puljujarvi. That was the first time I really heard of him, and I was like, oh, okay, good Canadian boy. You know, he's a heavy body. He's a pretty physical, center. I like what he, that there's potential there. My favorite player growing up was Jamie Benn. He's kind of the same style. So I was like, yeah, I don't mind this guy. But then just watching him and Torts go at it a few times, and then watching back, like, why is Torts just ripping this guy a new one? He is all offense. He is no defense. He is probably the worst defensive forward that no one talks about because of his... I'm sure he could play good defense if he actually gave a shit, but he doesn't. He doesn't. This guy's clearly chasing money. That's all it's been. He's chasing money. He's chasing clout. Columbus didn't have any of that. And at the time, I mean, they had a really good team. Like, at one point in time, like, they were actually such an entertaining team to watch. What was it, 2019-20 or 2020-21 at the deadline when they traded for, was it Duchesne? They traded for so many really good players. I'm like, holy crap, like, this team's stacked. And he was on that team. He was part of that team. And he won it out. So, where does he go to? He goes to the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets, who is, I know they had some fan struggles earlier in the season, which blew my mind still, but they are without a doubt one of the best organizations to play for. It's the fans. It's the fans. Winnipeg has some of the best fans in the league, and they always have. They are just insane. They show up. Their loyal fans are just amazing. They really are. And this guy, as soon as he gets there, he makes it very clear that he wants out, and he's not re-signing in the Jets organization, which, again, just not a really good look, and kind of grinds my gears, because he just, he's a pretty boy. He only wants what he wants, and I get that to an extent, but, like, come on, like, pay your dues. You're in the NHL, you get traded, like, freaking, I don't know, that just doesn't bode well with me when, it's kind of in basketball when team players are just going to teams just for, to get that chip, get that ring, get that money, and everything that follows it. It's like a hockey thing. Most players don't do it. Hockey players are generally really good for that. John Tavares, when he went to Toronto, it was more so he grew up there and he had reason. Yes, he did sign pretty big, but there was reason. They weren't a championship team there. That was probably the plan before they got Matthews. He was wanting to go to Toronto. So for the most part, hockey players are really good for that. But this guy just ruins it. He absolutely ruins it. So let's take a quick look at his stats here and see. And like, the thing is like, this guy really is not a terrible player. Like, offensively, he does, he's a physical player. But let's just take a look at his points. His first season as a rookie, 82 games played, he got 48 points. Second season, 82 games played, 61 points. In his third season, he had 70 games played. He had 49 points in those 70 games played. 2021 season, he got 20 points in 41 games played. He He follows that up with 60 points in 81 games played, so pretty good. And then his best season was his last season with the Jets, 63 points in 73 games played. And that gave him that cha-ching. That cha-ching that was worth $8.5 million. Are you kidding me? After his last season, apparently, like, and that's the thing, man. He did a really good job at promoting that he's a just insane player, but I never saw it. There's glimpses of it maybe, but the effort was never there, man. It really wasn't. So 63 points in 73 games played. Got him some freaking moolah. How much to be exact? I was right. It was $8.5 million. He signed a 8-year, $68 million contract. At the time, it was kind of like Leon Draisaitl when he first signed his, big contract there. Yeah, but it was kind of like Leon Draisaitl when he signed that contract. A lot of people were like, I don't think he's ever going to live up to it. But some people were like, he might. It's kind of the same thing here. But I personally, I did a video on it, I'm sure, last year. And I was like, this is just a overpay and a half for sure. And he follows it up last season, 16 goals, 24 assists, good enough for 40 points in 82 games played. The worst season in his entire career. So obviously the Kings didn't like what he did. Not to mention, the Oilers played the freaking Kings in the playoffs this year. He was such a non-factor. He was so invisible out there. And he is a guy, when you're paying a guy $8.5 million, he should not be invisible. He should be the driving force of every line that he's on. I think near the end of it, he was on the third or fourth line. And in the 5 games played this playoffs, he had 1 goal, 20 penalty minutes, and he was invisible. I honest to God, if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, I'm a producer of Edmonton Sports Talk, and so I produce all the pre and post game shows that we have. We didn't talk about Pierre-Luc Dubois. Well, we did, but it was all in the same fashion of where was he? You know what? This is kind of satisfying if you're a hater, and I wouldn't say I'm a hater. I just don't like this guy. I don't like him. I don't like the fact that he requests for a trade twice. If he went to LA this year and went like balls to the wall and had a career year, I'd be like, okay, good for him. I would be like, okay, you like to see it. At least finally, it looks like he's found that place, but good on him, I guess, for selling himself and just making him look like I would have done the same thing, I guess. So, but man, it's just not a good look. My dad, who's a huge Jets fan, was never too keen on this guy. I know John Tortorella has come out and said, I'm pretty sure he's the most uncoachable player he's ever played, which is true. Just look at him. He's the kind of guy that would just tell your coach you're wrong, and you don't want a guy like that. So I'm ripping into this guy. I'm sorry if you don't like that. Well, too bad. He's done nothing. He's done nothing but just get all what he wants his whole career. And finally, when push comes to shove, he's like, okay, I need to show up. He doesn't show up. LA Kings, what do they trade him? Yeah, good for you, LA. I'm proud. LA, I think right out of the gate, you won this trade. You get Darcy Kemper, who's won a cup. At times, he's looked like a really, really good goalie. Obviously, he was injured last season, I'm pretty sure, so he didn't play a heck of a whole lot. And if you're a Caps fan, I just want to say I certainly hope that he does something of significance. I don't think he will, and I'm sorry. Look, they bet on him because they see the potential, and that's the thing. There is potential with this guy. He's shown he's done it, but I'm sorry. I don't think he's ever going to live up to that contract for sure. And talk about being traded, just from talking to a few NHLers this year at our station, they've went and they've said like what it's like to be traded, and it's not fun. It's very rare where you see a player do very good in that said destination. The only person I can think of was Taylor Hall. Obviously, he wins the Hart Trophy 1 year after being traded. But you look at Jonathan Huberdeau, that didn't go well for him. And it's weird. For the lesser players, it kind of works, but for the star players, you find more times than not, they struggle with the new team that they get sent to. So I'm expecting kind of the same thing. He did have some of his, he's still not a chiseled vet. Well, he hasn't played. There's a lot of more miles to go is what I'm trying to get at. So who knows, being back in the East, that might say well with him. He is a physical player. But I'm rambling now. I'm just looking at the time. I got to put this together. Man, what are your thoughts on this initial trade? I'm blown away by it. I did not. I just had a nap and I woke up to see this, so I'm like, I have to talk about this. But honestly, good for the Kings recognizing their mistake, because it was a big mistake. And that's all PLD. That's all him. That's him just freaking telling these guys what they want to hear. But like I said, when push comes to shove, he ain't got nothing. And that's what I'm sticking to. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, smoke it, smoke it. Okay, that's all I gotta say. So if you're new to the channel, if you're a Caps fan, like I said, if you're a Kings fan, what are your guys' initial thoughts? You know, the only thing I will say on the Caps side of things is they do need a center. They got a center. Is he going to be good? Time will tell. But that's all I got for this one, guys. If you're new to the channel, as always, leave a like. And I'd really appreciate it. We're on the cusp of 5K subs. Can we get to 4,800 subs by the end of this video? I'll leave it to you. Please, please help me out. Take her easy. I don't like asking, by the way. I hate asking. I hate it. Don't be average when you can be above average. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.